Aspen's society queen, Nancy Pfister, has just been found brutally murdered. Now, Trey and Nancy Styler have both been taken in for questioning. But Trey, at age 65, frail and suffering from a debilitating neurological disease, didn't seem strong enough to commit the crime, at least on his own. To pack her body into trash bags, wrap it in sheets, drag it to the bedroom closet, and then flip her mattress over to hide the bloodstains.
Is that something that you accepted that he was physically capable of?
Not at the time. Carrying a dead body, even if you drag it into the closet, it's not an easy job for one person. Flipping a queen mattress from one side to the other, doable, because I've done it myself. For him to do that by himself would have been very difficult.
Of more interest to cops was Nancy Styler, whose animosity towards Pfister was no secret. And just as Pfister's assistant, Kathy Carpenter, had pointed the finger at the Stylers, Nancy Styler was now pointing her finger back at her for the Pfister murder.
I thought that she and Kathy had a major fight, and I thought that Kathy had gotten drunk, blacked out, killed her.
But Kathy had never threatened to kill Pfister. On the other hand, Nancy Styler had.
What was the motive there?
Nancy Styler had made some comments to the effect that she would rather see Nancy Pfister dead.
She'd expressly said she would like to kill her.
There was motivation there, for sure, just like her husband, Trey.
And Nancy, surprisingly, denies none of it when I ask her about her hatred for Pfister.
On reflection, one of the interrogators looked back and said, the most striking thing from the interview with Nancy, with yourself, was this overwhelming hatred, as they described it, that you had for the victim, for Nancy.
I think that I was very honest with them when they said to me, "Did you like her?" And I said, "No, I hated her."
You said more than that. You said she's a liar, she's an alcoholic.
She disrespected me like no other person has ever done. And that was all honest. What was I supposed to say? No, I never said that? I did say it. But that doesn't mean I was gonna kill her.
Without enough evidence to link them to the murder, the Stylers are released after 12 hours of questioning, but remain under heavy suspicion, as does Kathy Carpenter.
We're looking at all three. That's our job. We've got to look at all three.
Police don't know if one of them did it alone, if another had helped, or if they had all done it together.
These three people might have been bonded together by their hatred for Nancy.
Yeah, they could have definitely developed a bond through this animosity.
Then a huge discovery. A trash collector empties out a garbage can just 100 yards from the Stylers motel and finds personal items belonging to Nancy Pfister and an old hammer with Nancy Pfister's blood on it. And on one of the plastic bags is Trey Styler's DNA.
It broke the case.
And Nancy Pfister's blood is found in the trunk of the Stylers' car.
That was also a big piece of evidence.
But there was still more to be uncovered. The key to the bedroom closet where Nancy Pfister's body was found.
Amazingly, the key was ultimately found outside of the door of their hotel room in Basalt.
Nancy Styler's defence attorney, Garth McCarty, suspects all the evidence may have been planted.
I think everybody, including law enforcement, was a little suspicious at first that it was actually just found by chance.
Police arrest Trey and Nancy Styler and charge them with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. And 11 days later, they arrest Kathy Carpenter on the same charges. The Stylers and Carpenter sit behind bars for 3 months before they turn up in handcuffs for their first court appearance. It was one of the most anticipated trials in Aspen legal history. The courtrooms packed, and those who couldn't get in had gathered outside, all waiting to see what would happen in the sensational case of 3 people charged over the one murder. Then inside, the bombshell dropped. In a written affidavit, Trey Styler has confessed to murdering Nancy Pfister on his own without the knowledge or help of his wife Nancy or Kathy Carpenter, who both emerged from court free women.
I mean, I'm hysterical. I'm wondering, did he do anything here, or is he just falling on his sword?
A lot of other people in Aspen are still asking the exact same question and more.
I would say there's a very strong, pervasive opinion among those who are familiar with the case that Nancy Styler beat a murder rap.
But nobody saw this next bombshell coming. Another secret confession uncovered by Crime Watch Daily, graphically detailing the savage slaying of Nancy Pfister.
It was then what I do now.
This sensational turn in the case as the Rocky Mountain High Society murder continues.